Hi everyone, good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes to let everyone come in from the waiting room, and then we will get going on our clearing webinar in a minute or so. So I'll see you very shortly. Hi again, everyone. So we will get going now with our clearing webinar this evening. As I said, thank you everyone for joining us. For those of you who haven't met me before, or just to say hi again, I'm Laura Piercy. I'm the Associate Director of LSWAP, and part of my role is everything to do with UCAS, University Applications Pathways, and obviously one big part of that is clearing. So just a little bit of housekeeping for this. I can send, if you want the slides afterwards, please email me. My email address is at the end of the presentation. So don't feel you have to take photos or write everything I'm saying down. I am recording this, as you may have heard, the recording start, and it will be on our YouTube channel should you wish to watch me again. And if you have any questions there'll be time for questions at the end. But if you've got any really specific questions that relate to a very particular student or very particular circumstances, or that you don't want to discuss sort of in a wider context, again, please do feel free to email me and I'll do whatever I can to help you out. If you do want to ask a question, please use the Q&A function on Zoom. If you hover your mouse over the screen, you should get a little toolbar at the bottom, and it says Q&A, and there's a little question mark in a speech bubble there. So please use that. But I will be running through the presentation first, and then I will answer questions at the end. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just going to do the presentation part first. And I think that's everything. So we'll get going. Fantastic. So, hopefully, this is why you're here. Our webinar this evening is about clearing, and I am going to start from the very beginning. I'm going to explain everything about what clearing is, and how you use it, and how some things that will be useful for our students to know as they approach results day in August. Before that, though, I am just going to plug my one final webinar that I'm doing this term. This is the last one of the academic year, and it is on apprenticeship pathways. So it is suitable for year 12 and year 13, but if you came to the apprenticeship webinar last year, it is very similar, so there won't be an awful lot new. But this is just because we do so much talking about UCAS and university at this time of year, and that is because most students at the SWAP do go on to uni. But it can feel like some other pathways get a little bit neglected. So this webinar is about apprenticeship pathways. It will talk about what apprenticeships are now, different sectors that are good for apprenticeship pathways and ones that aren't so much, different types of apprenticeship and how to apply for roles and how to find stuff. And as usual, there'll be a Q&A, and it will be recorded again if you're not able to make it. So just a little plug for that one. The link for that will be in the LSWAP newsletter this week, which should be sent out on Friday. And I will also email it around in the next couple of weeks as well. So this is a really ugly diagram. Please ignore this. I am not the sort of aesthetics of this. I'm not a designer, but I'm just trying to show you visually how students find themselves in clearing, sort of the different pathways through to clearing. Because it's not, and I'll say this loads of time tonight, it isn't just course. Like clearing's got a bit of a bad rep, or it has had a bad rep in the past as being like courses that that maybe aren't the best, or are low tariff, or that students only end up in clearing if they fail, basically. And that's absolutely not the case. And I really hope that I can impress that on you this evening, if nothing else. So let's start with our student, our hypothetical student. They've put their UCAS application in for 2026. Student A gets at least one offer. So they heard back from the universities. They got at least one offer from the 5 that they put in. And then they accepted their firm and insurance choice from those 5, and they declined all the others. So that's where I imagine most of your young people will be at the moment. Most are in that situation. Let's fast forward then through to August, through to results day. If they get the required grades, so they needed 3 Bs or they needed 120 UCAS points, they get that. Brilliant. Love that for them. Off they go to their university. There are 2 circumstances, though, in which they could end up in clearing. Firstly, is that they don't get the required grades, so they don't meet the entry requirements of the course, and so they will be automatically put into clearing. And but the other situation is just that they change their mind. And that can be for loads of different reasons. It can be that they decide they don't want to do physics anymore, or they don't want to live away from home anymore, or the other way around, they do want to live away from home, maybe they want to go to a different university. It could be, and this happens increasingly, that they actually got better grades than they anticipated, and they want to try and trade up for a course, and that all those reasons might be that they find themselves in clearing. 2 other students then. Another student who they put their application through UCAS, and for some reason they don't get any offers. They will be automatically entered into clearing. And a student who has put their application in, maybe they've got offers, but then they have early in the process. So already by now, again, I've got some of these. They've changed their mind about the university or course they want to do. They have declined all of their offers. They've turned them down, and they are also in clearing. So various different pictures there of different students. Some may be in clearing now, either because they didn't get any offers or because they've changed their mind, and some who may end up in clearing in August on results day, either because they didn't meet their entry requirements, or again because they've changed their mind. So it's a complicated picture. There are loads of reasons to end up for students to be in clearing. So just to recap then, what the UCAS process is, to contextualize this, you do your UCAS application, you send it off. That happened before January. The university replies. If a student gets some offers, they pick a firm and insurance and they decline any others. If they don't get any offers, as I already said, they're in clearing, or if they turn down all their offers, they're in clearing. And then when they get their results, if they meet the entry requirements, off they go. If they fail to meet the requirements, clearing, they change their mind, clearing. So I've said the word clearing so many times it's starting to lose meaning. Before it does completely, let's just clarify what it actually is. All it is a list of all the undergraduate university courses in the UK that are not full. That's it. That is all that clearing is. It's no more complicated than that. It's any course at a UK university that's got any space on it. That could be one space, that could be multiple spaces, but anything with a space on it is going into clearing, with a very, very small number of exceptions, which I'll cover in a minute. It's how universities fill their places that they've still got available. And nearly every university and nearly every course will show up in clearing. There are a few really oversubscribed courses. So medicine, for example, doesn't use clearing because the universities use their own kind of reserve list. But with very few exceptions, nearly everything else will be in clearing. Nearly every uni, nearly every type of course. It is not just low tariff courses, so sort of low entry grade courses, or institutions that accept lower grades. You can find courses with super high entry requirements and really popular universities in clearing, either because, firstly, they've got more places than applicants. Sometimes they just don't have quite the number of applicants to fill their places. But also, if they've had a year where a lot of their applicants haven't met their entry requirements, those places are going to show up in clearing. So just to explain a little bit what happens with universities around results day. So students get their results on a Thursday. So this year it is the 12th, isn't it? 13th. Those are the 13th of August. Is results day. Students come in and get their results. But the universities have already had the grades. They've already had the results for several days by that point. So they are able to send out their offers really early on the morning of results day, and it means that they know who's got a place and who hasn't. That also means that then on results day, they're able to release any of those extra places into clearing. So clearing is a moving picture. It changes, and it can change quite quickly. So who uses it? So I've already covered this. A student who didn't get any offers, so they put their application in, they didn't get any offers, they will be put automatically, UCAS will put that student into clearing. If you, on results day, you don't meet your entry requirements, again, you'll be automatically put into clearing. As I've already said, students who do better than expected, so you think you're going to get 120 points or 3 Bs or whatever, you actually get an A and 2 Bs, and you think, well, actually, I'm gonna have a look, see what else there is, because maybe there's something different. Quite really common if you change your mind. As I said, you've got offers, but you don't want them. Students who change their mind on results day or even after results day, because clearing stays open all the way through September. So there's no rush. There's a rush in a way because places will go. Students will take them up and they will go, but it doesn't have to be a mad rush. You have got time to change your mind about your course and to look for something else. And it means as well you don't have to if you're thinking that you might change your mind, you don't have to frantically do that at 1 o'clock on the afternoon of the 13th of August. You can take some time to think about it, to do some research, and to make the best decision for you. Students whose circumstances have changed. So suddenly you were planning on going to Sheffield, but now you can't. You need to stay at home, looking for a university closer by. Or if you didn't apply at all. So you haven't used UCAS, you haven't applied for university, then you get your results and suddenly you're enthused, or you change your mind over summer and you decide that you want to go to university. You can apply directly into clearing once you've got your results. Which courses are available in clearing then? So as I said, it's nearly everything. There are a few things you won't find. You won't find medicine, dentistry, or veterinary science, because again, they run their own kind of waiting lists. You won't find anything at Oxford or Cambridge, and you won't find oversubscribed courses at really popular universities. So something like law at Edinburgh that has, or like UCL or somewhere that has more applicants than places, are unlikely to go into clearing. Definitely not, because again, if they somehow have a year where loads of people don't do as well as they wanted them to, then they might put those places into clearing instead of giving them to people that they've already made offers to. So it's still worth having a look. But there are, the more popular and oversubscribed the course, obviously, the less likely it's going to be in there. But pretty much everything else will show up. That means there definitely will be loads of law courses, for example, just maybe not at the most oversubscribed and the most competitive universities. At the minute, really popular degree courses, psychology and law are super, super popular at the minute. Psychology has been the most popular undergraduate degree course for the past few years. Law is catching up. Computer science is super popular, and medicine obviously is super popular. But there are some adjacent sort of healthcare degrees, so things like radiography, midwifery, and physiotherapy, that are also very popular and have actually seen their entry requirements go up in quite a few cases this year. So again, they will be a little bit less likely to be in clearing at some institutions. The practicalities then. How does it work? So if you're already in clearing, or if you're just having some doubts, so you've accepted your offers, but you're not 100% sure that's where you want to go, you can start looking for a new course from the 2nd of July. Clearing opens on the 2nd of July. As I've said, it is a slightly movable feast. So the course, there's some argument that waiting for results day can be a benefit because there'll be more courses released in that week before. But it is, if you are already in clearing or if you're already unsure, there is a huge benefit to looking now and seeing what's out there. If you don't have any offers, as I said, you'll be automatically in there. And when you log into your UCAS dashboard, it will tell your UCAS track, it will tell you that you are in clearing. If you have accepted an offer, so you've accepted a firm or insurance, or firm and or insurance, you will need to decline it before you go into clearing. So if at the minute you're thinking that you're not quite sure about the courses that you've picked, I would recommend that you don't just bin those off and then start digging around in clearing. I would look through clearing first and secure a new course. So secure an agreement of a new course before you decline anything that you've got, because if you decline things, you can't get them back. So just obviously be sensible, be thoughtful about it. If you are holding any offers, you can't apply for any courses in clearing. So if you're holding an offer now, you've accepted a firm or insurance choice, you can't accept anything through clearing. You've got to turn them down first. And the same on results day as well. If you've been accepted by your firm or insurance choice, you can't accept anything through clearing until you turn that down. So a few key dates here. 2nd of July it opens. 13th of August are level 3 results day. So A levels, vocational technical qualifications. And as you can see, clearing goes all the way up to the 19th of October. I wouldn't recommend that you start putting things on clearing on the 19th of October because term started by then. But just to show that you're not in a rush. So more about how it works. On results day, and this is the time that really most students do their dealings with clearing, if you don't get the grades for your firm choice or your insurance choice, you will be automatically entered into clearing. So if you don't get the grades for your firm choice, but you do get them for your insurance choice, then you will be going to your insurance choice. Unless you turn it down, you won't be in clearing in that case. It's only if you miss both your firm and your insurance that you'll be entered into clearing. We tend to have quite a few students who use clearing because they didn't get their firm, they've got their insurance, but then they weren't super keen on it, so they decided to use clearing to look for something else. If you think that you don't want to go to your unis, or if you think that you might not meet the entry requirements, so if you've gone for something that's quite ambitious and you think you might not meet the entry requirements, I would strongly recommend that you start researching clearing as soon as it opens, so you've got a short list on results day. Even if you're confident, it's a good idea to have a backup, just in case. And that means that you're not starting cold on results day, but you've got, an idea of the type of courses and the type of unis that you might be interested in going to, and you've made that shortlist. So as soon as clearing opens on results day, you can get straight in there and pick the courses that you want. We know that it's really upsetting to not get the grades that you want and not get into the place that you want. It can be a shock and it can be unpleasant. So we are around to help you. We are around on results day. I am around on the Friday afterwards, the day afterwards. So if there is anything that you need, we are there, and we would advise you to do all of this. So if you are declining courses and going through clearing, we would advise that you do that with us, so we can help you out. Clearing, this is 2025 because I had to screenshot last year's because it hasn't opened yet. But this is what it looks like. So it just looks like normal UCAS, and you can search by universities and colleges there. But it looks exactly like the UCAS search looks for the rest of the year. It's just says the word clearing at the top. So on results day, then, what are you going to do? You will, if you've applied to university through UCAS, you will get an email from UCAS early on results day, and it's usually really early before you actually come in and get your results. So you will probably know by the time you get to us to collect your results whether you're in your university or not. That email won't tell you your grades. UCAS will never tell you your grades, but they will say, congratulations, you're going to your firm choice, or congratulations, you're going to your insurance choice, or, commiserations, you're in clearing. So once you get that email, click on it, check UCAS track, check your application status. If you are in clearing, you can start to search for a course that you like, or as I said, even better, have a shortlist. I would say before you come in to collect your results on results day, please make a note of your UCAS ID and your clearing number. You can find both of those on track. Just screenshot it. I'll put it in a notes app somewhere. Once you find a course that you like, give them a bell, give them a ring, and check that they will accept you onto that course. This is because they often accept lower grades than the standard entry requirements through clearing. They're not going to go madly lower. You're not going to get into a course that needs 3 A's if you've got a C and 2 D's. But generally, they will come down by a grade or two because obviously they want to fill their courses as well. So give them a ring, tell them who you are, tell them what your results are, tell them that you're super interested, and they will have a conversation with you. Unfortunately, you have to ring them yourself. We can't do it for you. They literally won't talk to us. But so you will need to pick up the phone. Be prepared to wait. There will be phones in the classrooms in the Parley Wes Sixth Form Centre, so you can stay if you want to and ring from there, or you can go home and do it yourself, or you can come back on Friday and do it. Completely up to you. You will also get something called UCAS matches. So if you get a course, if you pick a course out of your UCAS matches, you can just click on those to express interest rather than ringing up. But I mean, you can still ring them to make the process quicker. But you can use your UCAS matches as well, which I'll talk about in a sec. Once you've spoken to someone and they say, brilliant, we'd love to have you, then go back online, back onto your UCAS track, pick the course in clearing and wait for your confirmation to come through. That can take a few hours, so don't worry if it's not there immediately. This is a really helpful page from the UCAS website. I put the link in after this. This is just a screenshot. It's the status in your application. So what your application says and what that actually means, and then what you should do. So if it says waiting for confirmation, then literally that you're waiting for your uni or college to let you know that you've met the conditions and that you've been accepted. Most of the time that does happen straight away on results day, but sometimes it doesn't, especially if you're waiting for module results. You might be waiting for GCSE results, in which case obviously you're going to have to wait for another week until it's all sorted out, so you won't get that confirmation there if your place is dependent on GCSE results. So really you're waiting at this stage. You might get a congrats, you've been placed at your firm, or congrats, you've been placed at your insurance. That means exactly that. So you're going to your firm choice or you're going to your insurance choice. If you're happy with that, you then don't need to do anything. That will just move forward automatically. Your uni will get in touch with you, and the whole thing will just progress nice and smoothly. If you have not been placed at your firm or insurance choices, then you are in clearing. And as I said, that's what will show up on your track. So you will know very easily that you are in clearing. It won't be a mystery. So clearing matches. This is something that UCAS does. Once you're in clearing, UCAS can send you something called clearing matches, and these are courses that they think you'll like based on the data that they have about you. So they look at what you've applied for, they look at your grades, and they sort of send you a list of, you might be interested in these. If you're eligible, you'll see a button. You'll see a button called See Matches. You have to have given them permission to do it, and you can then click to express interest, so the university can contact you. It's not automatic. Just because the matches are there doesn't mean they're going to get in touch with you. You've got to click on them and say, yes, please, I would like you to get in touch with me. If you don't like any of them, you can completely ignore them and search yourself, and nothing will happen. They are just suggestions. But just as an example of what might happen is a hypothetical student gets her results. She doesn't quite get the grade she needs for a firm or insurance choice. So she signs into her application, she clicks on See Matches, the See Matches button, and it gives her a top 50 matches. So it gives her loads, and these are based on her original choices. She clicks interested on 4 of them. One of them rings her, they ask her some questions about why she'd like to study the course, and then they confirm on the phone that yes, they will offer her that place. She logs back on, adds that course, and off she goes to university. So it is nice and smooth. The matches can be quite helpful. So if you do get in there, and you decide that you don't want to go there, either because you've done better or whatever reason, then you need to decline your place on results day and release yourself into clearing. So you need to log on, go to your UCAS dashboard, your UCAS track, and click to decline and self-release. You'll get various windows that come up saying, "Are you sure?" Because once you've done it, you can't reverse it, and that course, that place that you had, will become available in clearing. So you can't reverse it. Please don't do this until you've spoken to us. And we also recommend that you get verbal acceptance from another university before you start declining places. You take time to think about it. And if you think you might be in this position, as I said, it's a good idea to be making shortlists before results day anyway. So you've got a bit of an idea of who you're going to be contacting and where you might go. Just a reminder that you cannot switch between your firm and insurance choice. And if you've been accepted by one of them, that's where you're going. So if you've been accepted by your firm choice, you can't flip it to your insurance. Again, that place will have gone into clearing. What you would need to do if you decide to do that, if you decide that you want to flip, is check clearing to see if that other course is actually there. If it is, ring them up, and then you need to follow the normal clearing procedure. You can't, as I say, you can't switch between them. A few tips for results day. So, as I said, short list of courses in advance. Also, a good idea to have the admissions contact details. If you to hand, just as saying your notes app or something, so you can get in touch with them straight away. Clearing number, UCAS ID, really important. Set aside time to make phone calls. Be patient. You can do that from 1 o'clock on results day. And as I said, the phone's in the swap building for you to use. But please do feel free to go home and do this as well. You know, we're there to help you. We also have some volunteers from industry and to help you as well. Most of whom have been through this process. Please ask us for help. We're around on results day. As I say, I'm also in on Friday, the 14th of August, from 10 a.m. So I will be there if you want to come in and just talk, or you want some help with something. If you can't get through on the phone, so this sometimes happens, again, it's certainly really, really popular, really oversubscribed unis. If you can't get through on the phone, try sending an email and then go in and having a break for an hour, get a coffee or go for a little walk or something, and then come and check back. Because sometimes it can be quite stressful, sitting on the phone for a long time. And if you're a bit flexible, use your UCAS matches and wait for them. That can take the pressure off a little bit. So, things you should do now. Check the entry requirements for your firm and insurance choices. Please make sure that you know them and check exactly what the offer says. So this one here, this example is a really straightforward one. You need an ABB and that's it, ABB. But it might say you need an ABB. The A has to be in history. It might say you need a 4 in GCSE maths. It might say you need a DBS check. It might say, you need to submit something. Please check and make sure that you know what the requirements of your acceptance are. And realistically consider if you are going to make them. You're in quite a different position now to what you were in December or whenever when you put this application in. You've been through your exams and all that kind of stuff. You've submitted all your NEA, so you might be thinking a bit differently about your results, either up or down. And you prepare a clearing backup shortlist, especially if you think you might not quite make it. Deferrals. You can't apply for a deferred place in clearing. You can only apply for a place starting this year in 2026. So if you are thinking of taking up a deferred place, you will need to use clearing in a different way. So if you applied for a deferred place, if you applied for a 2027 place and you didn't get in, then you can either use clearing to choose a place for this year, or you will need to reapply. So if you have been accepted on a place, but you want to defer, so you've changed your mind, you don't want to go this year anymore, you want to go next year, then you've got to ring that uni directly to request the referral. You can't do that, the deferral, sorry, you can't do that via UCAS. But if you are going to put in a deferral request, I would recommend that you wait because the afternoon of results day will be absolutely crackers and they will be so busy. Wait until the day after at least. And remember that they can say no. So you can request a deferral, but they can say no, they won't give you one. So what about waiting? Reapplying next year, changing your mind and waiting. So, as I've already said, if you decide that you don't want to go to uni this year, you want to go next year, but you still want to go to that same uni and do that same course, then request a deferral, ring admissions, and ask them if they'll defer you. If you want to apply for a different course, then you can decline. But if you don't know what you want to do yet, or you want a bit more time to think about it, or you definitely want to go in 2027, but you don't want to do the course that you're currently doing, then you can decline, as I say, the courses that you're on. It will still automatically put you in clearing. It does that with everyone, but you can just ignore it. And what you can do then is reapply through UCAS from the end of September. You do have to pay again, unfortunately. If you do decide to reapply, then we can help you out. We can write your reference for you. We can check personal statements and bits and bobs. We do have a short policy about UCAS guidance for students who've left us. It's mainly to do with dates that we ask you to get in touch with us, so we've got time to write your reference. But that is on our website. So if you are thinking about doing that, if you're thinking that you might not take up the place that you've got and you might leave it and you might reapply next year, then do check that to make sure that we can get your reference done in time. A quick note on student finance. So if you've already applied for student finance, and I hope you have, but if you change your university, then all you have to do is log into your student finance account and make the changes in there. It is super quick and easy. It takes seconds. So your UCAS application is not linked to your student finance application in any meaningful way. So you have to log into student finance to tell them where you're going and to tell them that it's changed. And you have to do that. You don't have to reapply. So all they will do is they'll use the information that they've already got, that you've already given them, to adjust your maintenance loan if they need to. They might not need to. If you were going to do physics at Sheffield and you're now doing physics at Leeds, then the amount of finance you're entitled to will be exactly the same. So nothing will change. But you still do need to tell them. But the amount won't change. But the reason that it might change is if, for example, you were living at home, but you then through clearing choose a university that's away from home, or the other way round, or you decide to stay in London, or you decide to go out of London. They're all things that affect the amount of maintenance loan that you will get. So it's even more important to tell them to make sure that they're giving you the right amount of money. If you haven't applied for student finance, please apply for student finance as soon as possible. The deadline has passed, but student finance doesn't close. But the earlier you do it, the better, the more likely you are to get your money at the start of the term. If you decide to decline your place and not go to university at all this year, or you decide to defer, you also need to log on to student finance and tell them. So just adjust the student finance to say, I'm not going this year, because otherwise they will try and give you your loan and things can get a little bit awkward. So do tell them that if you're not going. Accommodation. This can be a bit of a stress point for people when they're changing course or using clearing or whatever, but don't worry too much about it. Like nearly every university reserves some accommodation for clearing and insurance choice students, so there should be stuff available. You might have a bit less choice, but there should be a choice for accommodation available. Once you've have a confirmed place on a course, they will email you about accommodation. So that might be if you have picked a course through clearing, or if you are going to your insurance choice, for example, and if you'd already organised accommodation through your firm choice, but then you don't get in, then you will need to organise that through your insurance choice as well. Some unis have a really helpful clearing accommodation page on their website, so you can just go to it and sort it out. If you have booked your accommodation through your firm choice, as I said, but you haven't got in, or if you decline it yourself, then you will usually have the accommodation cancelled and the deposit refunded automatically. That will happen if you didn't get in. They will automatically cancel your. They should automatically cancel your accommodation. Do check. Um, and and if you do it through clearing, again, that should connect to the university and mean that your accommodation is cancelled. But again, check just in case, because you don't want to end up paying two deposits or having accommodation at two different places. But it can take up to 14 days to get your deposit back. So again, just be aware of that. It's usually quicker, but it can take longer. Where to get help then? So from us on results day, the day after, UCAS have a really, really thorough clearing guide, as you would expect, as do the Complete University Guide and What Uni is pretty good as well. And your university websites, most of them have a clearing FAQ for that specific university, so that is also worth looking at. If you have any questions, as I said, please do get in touch. I'm available to answer questions about this, or about any aspect of Newcastle University, but also about clearing. So please do let me know if you have anything you want to ask. So this is a short one. I'm just about done. What I will do in a sec is have a look in the Q&A, see if there are any questions, see what I can answer. So if you want to stick around for that, fantastic. If you are happy with what you've heard so far, then please don't feel that you have to stay around. But as I said, if you do want the slides, do drop me an email. And if you have any questions now, obviously, please also drop them in the Q&A, and I will answer them. So, through clearing, a university might allow a grade below as they want to fill courses. Does this ever apply to a first choice uni as well? Yes, it does. So sometimes a university will say they want three A's, but in reality, they will sometimes accept slightly lower than that. They'll sometimes accept two A's and a B. That's why, as I said, when you get that email on the morning of results day, if it says, congratulations, you're in your first choice, your firm choice, that doesn't necessarily mean that you got the exact grade you needed for it. You might be higher, you might be slightly lower, and the university have decided that a bird in the hand is worth it, basically. So if you just drop slightly, they will sometimes still offer you a place, and insurance choices may also do that as well. So yeah, they can be. Some of them are a bit more flexible than others. Again, the more competitive the uni, the more competitive the course, the less flexible they are. So, obviously, like Oxbridge, I've already talked about sort of UCL, King's, Warwick, Durham, Edinburgh, are going to be not very flexible on entry requirements, but some other universities are. So that is worth checking. If our son chooses to go through clearing because he doesn't get his top offer, so his firm offer, would this mean he would also lose his insurance offer? Yes. So if you go into clearing, if you cannot hold any offers and be in clearing, so you will have to either decline those offers, turn them down, or you would have to not have got either of the offers to be in there. So if he doesn't get his firm choice, but he does meet the requirements for his insurance choice, he will be going to his insurance choice. If he doesn't want to go there, he will need to release himself into clearing so he can use clearing. But as soon as he releases himself, he will lose that offer. You can't hold one and apply through clearing. You can look in clearing, you can go shopping in clearing as much as you want, but you can't click on a course in clearing to request it while you're holding anything else. When students call a uni, will they be put forward to a subject specialist or an admin person? It will be someone, usually it will generally be someone in student services or in administration. It will be unlikely to be, it's not going to be a professor or someone teaching the course. But those people are often linked to departments or faculties. So they're not they are very specially they are trained in clearing, and they are specialists around it. And they're specialists. So in that sense, yes, they are clearing specialists, but they are not the kind of specific teachers or delivering the course or subject specialists. But they are in a position to make decisions about a student's suitability for a course or to give you more information about a course. They are really knowledgeable people. If my child is not in the UK during clearing, can she apply or contact them from abroad? Yeah, yes, absolutely. You can use clearing from anywhere in the world. Um, you can you absolutely do that. You can call them as well, obviously, as long as you've got a phone signal. Yeah, you can just log on and use clearing just like anybody else. And I would recommend that anyway because you'll need to log on to look at your UCAS track. Uh, Yes, just clarify, you can see options in clearing without declining offers. Yes, you can see the options. You just can't say that you want to go to any of them. So you can window shop as much as you like. You just can't make that final decision. Uh, if you just miss your grades for your firm and insurance choice, but one decides to take you anyway, how does that work? Will they tell you on the day before you go into clearing, or does it happen via clearing? It just happens automatically via UCAS. So what will happen is you will get you'll get an automated email from UCAS on the morning of results day, so on the morning of the 13th, and it will either say, "Congrats, you're going to your firm choice. Congrats, you're going to insurance choice," or "You're in clearing." Um, what you then need to you can then log on and see which universities have accepted you. Obviously, it won't say it doesn't. They don't actually say, "Oh, we decided to take you with slightly lower grades." They just say that you're in. So you do. That's why I said you need to still come into school to get your grades to see what your grades are. Your grades won't show up on UCAS and they won't be in that email. Um, but yeah, they will make a decision. So as I said, you get your results on the Thursday on the 13th. The universities have already had them for several days by that point. So they've been able to make decisions about who they're going to accept and who they're not going to accept. So you will just get that answer uh, through your email and through UCAS track. Do UCL or KCL, King's College, offer clearing, in particular for M-Pharm? All universities offer clearing. There may not be any spaces on that course. That is all all I can say about that. It is only for courses that have space. UCL, I think you would be lucky, um, and Kings as well. They're both really popular. But you would just need just check, 2nd of July. Check, have a look, see if the courses are there. I think it's unlikely, but they might be. Um, Okay. Oh, are courses with additional tests available in clearing? So courses that need something like an ESAT or an LNAT or an additional test. Yeah, they can be available in clearing, and you can ring them up and ask them what the requirements would then be around sitting that extra test. Some of them will have required you to already do it. Some of them, there might be some flexibility around it. The best thing to do is to get in touch with them and to ask. There's a final question. There is a question here about apprenticeship pathways, so about health related courses. Because that's not a clearing question, if you could email me about that one, and I will answer that separately. Oh, this is a good one actually. I think this might be our final one, but this is a good question. If you've not been accepted by a course and the course is in clearing, can you apply for it? Yes, you can. So if you applied for it in on your original UCAS application and they turned you down, then if it's in clearing, you can absolutely apply for it, but they might not take you. It depends why they turned what the reason was that they turned you down. If you only just missed the grades and then they've got the course in clearing, then honestly, I would say take a punt on it. They might. But if it's quite dramatically different grades, or if you were given a different kind of feedback about why they turned you down. So if they turned you down because your personal statement wasn't adequate, for example, then I think it would be very, very unlikely that they would take you in that case. But yeah, you can definitely apply for a course through clearing that you've been previously turned down for. Um, in the same way, actually, this is slightly different, but it just reminded me. If you decide that you don't want to go to uni this year, and you decide to decline your places and reapply through UCAS next year, you can reapply for the same courses again. So maybe you applied for a course and you declined it, but then you change your mind or whatever. There's nothing to stop you reapplying for the same courses in the second year. Or again, if you apply for something and you didn't get an offer, then you could absolutely apply for it again. There's nothing to stop that. Fantastic. I think that is everything. That's all the questions. Thank you very much for coming along this evening. As I said, do get in touch if you want to ask anything else. And if you do want to find out more about apprenticeships, then I'll see you in a few weeks for our apprenticeship webinar. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.